Hello, people of the online world. Well, welcome back to another episode of Sword Online Fatal Bullet. Last episode, I showed you all how my main file was like. After doing some progress in file number 4. And today, we're going to continue our work in file number 4. File 1 will only be used to showcase and complete the DLC, and File 4 will be used to actually try and beat them, and with the limitations of a new file. Well, now, yes, I am probably gonna have a few rage attacks, and yes, I probably am gonna get pretty mad. But that doesn't really mean much when you know how to beat the files. But I should give some fair warning to people who have not played the game yet, who are just now going into the game. These games are not meant to be played with ease. They are going to be difficult for a reason. And so, play with caution and play with a fair amount of progress in mind. As games like this usually take a while to complete. Now, this is actually a little event that is a bit curious at first. Basically, the artificer notices that every player in GGO has a completely different personality. Now, some would say, well, duh, they're not the same person. But others would actually say something else, because some people aren't exactly the same. Well, duh, of course everyone's different. But I'll put a little question here. I'll actually answer Kira's question with a question. And are you sure NPCs have different personalities? That would basically shut anyone up. You became mute by interacting with us. Now, I'll check this out. What? I hate to break it to you, but one person, one personality is kind of the rule of thumb. This is half true. There are people who have split personalities, and this is called a split personality disorder. This is where you have a different personality for different scenarios. Now, not everyone's going to react the same, and not everyone is going to have the same personality. In fact, some people actually have a condition called dissociative identity disorder. Right, this is a state where people actually don't have a specific identity. They could have 2 or even 3. And this is actually a real thing too. Whereas if it weren't a real thing, it wouldn't have actually been given a name. And instead it would be called by a character name or something. And DID for short, or can be explained like talking to a different you who in a mirror. Or where it looks like there's someone else talking to you. And it can be explained like that, or it can be explained as seeing another you who far away. And whoever's in control is the one that's speaking. And of course, I am actually going to reference something here, but let's see here. Or if I could actually remember it. Yeah, Moon Knight. In that show, it actually shows dissociative identity disorder. Her with 3 different identities, which is a spoiler warning, by the way, but the question is, do you know the identities' names? That is something to actually think about. Now, this is actually something that everyone can see. The artist wants to be a better helper for the player, but does the player actually need help? Well, does he want a better helper? No, he does not. So the artist is actually trying too hard to actually be a better helper. And the best way to be a better helper is to just be yourself. Now, I'm just going to skip the event because I don't want to waste too much time on here. Because I already wasted like I'd say 5 minutes of your time going through that and explaining things that probably did not have to be explained. Further events are going to be skipped for the reason of getting to some more gameplay that isn't within these events. Also, if we check out one of Klein's events, and so we can actually see that he actually gets a quest. Why can I not customize my own gun? Now, I'm going to give these a black color, because I'll be honest, black looks better. Now, I'm going to see what each part does, and see what I think would work. I guess this would be reminiscent of a hot area type outfit. And some would say black would work better. I might actually have to agree. And now, if I were to customize the Howling Wolf, this one has an added scarf to it. Meow. This has 4 parts to it, but it's pretty much the same thing. Just with added features. Like this little arm piece right over here. But what's actually being customized is the scarf. So I'll turn it red. Now I look like I'm ready for any sort of battle. Ha ha ha. Now, I'm gonna have to go into banking. Spend in moderation. Now, I have to give my artist an allowance. So, I'll give her $500,000. And now, when I check my balance, I can deposit the rest of the money I have. Now, any money you put into your account will be used as what you can draw from to who make sure you actually have money. Now going to the SBC Glocken.
Right there. That'll do. Welcome back, everyone, to Thursday Gaming. We are back into the non-here. I'm alongside my tag team partner. I am the Super Six, and that is our cuttlefish.
Welcome back to our cuttlefish.
Now, there are a few events that are noticeable right here. Here, we saw Kirito over here, but why is he over there? It's because in the friends list, we gained a bit of affinity with him. And the more of these bonding events that we do with those characters, it's most likely that they'll go up quicker.
よし、じゃあこのクエストに挑戦するか。
Now, something that I can say is once we unlock Kirito mode, that's when we'll get a special way to customize Kirito. Now, the only way to actually do this is to beat Kirito mode. But how do we get it? We have to get to a specific point in the game where the band starts to dispatch a little bit.
さすがに一人では厳しいか。
But why is it that Kirito dispatches himself for no reason? Well, there is a reason. If you watch Sword Art Online 2 or Season 2 of Sword Art Online, you'll know that GGO has a specific bad guy. The main villain is called Death Gun. And this is actually not a spoiler because it's literally made obvious by the first episode. So Death Gun is after top-ranking players and is killing them. But how does he do it? Well, I won't say for certain because I'm not going to spoil this. All I can say is Death Gun is dangerous, and it's a good thing Kirito decided to handle him alone. Because I'll be honest, I don't think our player could actually do that in 1,000 years. Now, I have actually watched the series before, and it's kind of an unfair advantage. But I forgot to get my skills equipped. No! Equip my skills for me. Like, come on. Not the first time I've forgotten to equip the skills. Seriously, somebody has to be reminding me of this stuff.
I would if you told me to. ACMS Gaming.
Oh yeah, my name is ACMS Gaming, and no, I do not have anything to actually reference for other characters, for other people. So don't ask me to do that stuff. Now, what's the main format that I actually need to do for these? Well, I have to upgrade my stats, because currently my stats aren't that good. I need to be able to go faster, handle my weapons better, so I'll get this up to 15. Those would be some good stats to have. Now, having my vitals at whatever number would count for 15, I need to get 14 points up. Luckily, I can give another 14. And then, let's see here. I'll probably put 14 into intelligence. No, wait. If I do that, then I won't be able to equip better guns. So I'll do that, and then put 7 points into luck. Now, I have 15 stats in the majority of my stats. Now, if you rate the stat to 15, and that means you're basically getting better. And you should always put the majority of your attacks, or stats, into your luck. If you have a character with massive luck, that means you'll actually have a better time in finding any specific items. This will be useful for trying to find the legendary Blue Rose Sword and Giga Cedar. I've actually figured out how to say it correctly. So now I'm going to go to my skills, because now I have higher skills. With higher stats, I can actually go and get the Vorpal Strike. This is one of the required moves, but what we actually need is Vorpal Strike 2 or above. Now, you might notice that the requirement stats are kinda crazy. It's because this skill is meant to be collected at a good while after a specific point in the game. So I'm going to get Speed Form. This will help me increase my speed. And I'll also get Armor Form. And I've used these stats before. So I'll go into my skill sets and put in the other forms. I'll put Speed Form in here and Vorpal Strike. The reason you should have Vorpal Strike is because it's kind of a good move by itself. But now that I've actually set up my stuff, I can actually go out into the battlefield. Do be warned. There are some things that cannot be found out normally. I had to use a guide to figure out how to get the Blue Rose Sword, and the Giga Cedar. And my answer was not expecting it to drop from a high-level enemy and a high-level floor that could possibly be what they would call a death wish. Now, the fact that I've increased my strength shows that I'm focusing more on getting the power I need. And you might notice there are a few chests around here. There's some in some pretty strange places. And if you happen to see 2 chests, it's highly likely that you're going to experience a memory. Chest. These are chests that contain memories of specific characters. You can use these to get a better relationship with them very quickly. And they actually stack. So if you play the game multiple times, you could be getting high bonds with characters very, very quickly. Now, you might notice that there are some red damage indicators. Those are critical hits, which means you're hitting a zone on the enemy that damages them pretty quickly. And you want to hit these spots as much as possible. And by doing this, you'll get a lot of damage dealt very, very quickly. Now you might notice the underground labyrinth, and the fact that we're going after an area boss. This should come up as a bit of a surprise because we're still fairly new in the game, so we don't have that many stats. So why are we going after the area boss? It's because we just can't wait anymore. Now I will be changing the orifice's clothes later. Right now I just want to show off sharp. Okay, I'll be showing off Vorpal Strike. Never mind, I guess I'll have to wait. Sharp Nail is a skill that you might see some enemies use, namely the heavy bots. The heavy enemies are enemies that move at the walking speed naturally, but if they catch up with you, they can use Sharp Nail and deal a lot of damage to you. And this is Vorpal Strike. As you can see, it gets you pretty far. Combine this with, if it changes to attack and speed, and you got yourself a heavy hitter. Now you might notice I recover automatically. It's because I'm pressing a button after getting knocked back. Now as you can see, there's a few chests over here, and I want to collect them. Vorpal Strike and Sharp Nail work well together because they can be used in conjunction with each other. Now you might notice the character seems to have different dodging animations for the weapon that he holds. Hey look, a teleporter code. Water. I wonder what that could mean, eh? Well, it's a good thing you pick up these chests. It's because they are actually teleporter codes for a different point in the game. As long as you find these teleporter codes, you'll actually be in a good area by the time you get to that point in the game. It's also called being ahead of the game. As long as you're ahead of the game, you'll be able to do stuff. Oh hey look! A sniper. I do not want to get hit in the head by this guy, so instead, I'm going to shoot him in the head. As long as you barrage the enemies with your bullets, you won't have to deal with anything concerning them. And you might notice this little aura around me. This aura is actually a aura you get from this point indicator. 100 points means you get an improved stats on everything. Meaning overall, you have high morale. And having high morale means you're doing more damage. As you can see, I'm dealing more damage than I did before. But why is it that that works is because I don't know, I haven't studied that part of the game yet. But I do know that it makes you much stronger. So always have high morale and you'll be able to kill any enemy very quickly. Now, I do have to warn you about a few things. First off, don't overfill your inventory. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Now you saw how quickly that bot turned, right? It's because there was an instant aggro. As long as he aggroes onto you, he'll automatically know where you are. And I just have one thing to say. I have experienced times where I just died out of nowhere. I don't know how to explain it. It must be a glitch that the developers missed. But this game is long outdue, which means it won't be getting any updates or DLC. But I am glad for what we got, because this is a really good game by itself. It has a lot of combinations for player style. And you can easily pick whatever game style you want within this game, as long as you can fight within reason. Now I see those explosive barrels. It's always best to hit them when there's enemies grouped up to them. This allows you to get damage out very quickly and very efficiently. Also, I would like to give an honorable mention and to a few people who support me along the way. The Cool Dan 1211 and it's Super Shay Gaming. But namely Super Shay Gaming. He got me back into this little business and I'm gonna stay for quite a while. Oh, and of course I will make a few update videos as I go along. But it's if I hadn't had the help from Super Shay Gaming to get back into this business, I probably would have never come back. And because I was kind of lost, and I found myself back here, back at my roots. But as for the update videos, they will namely be when I can make uploads as consistently as I've been. And namely during the school times. That's when I won't be uploading as much. Or maybe I will be uploading as much. Who knows? Now, this is actually an enemy I want to stay away from. He's pretty high, and I'm pretty low. At most, I would want to use a stun and type item. So, I'll use a stun grenade. That barely did anything. And now he's aggroed onto me. So I'll use a grenade. That didn't work. Let's try using assist mode to try and hit this guy. Oh no. My artifice is down. Whew. That was a bit too close for comfort. But we got some stylish glasses. And a head protector. Now, the items you get here can actually have varying stats, but this one is pretty good. My max HP is increased, and I got some stylish glasses too. And with the HP increase, I actually have more HP. And the recharge time is lowered. flower headband, and a rusty fragment. Now, you always want to go for items that give him a few extra stats. Now, there isn't much I can actually give to my Artifices. Mainly because most of the items I put on myself first, because the player is the one you should focus on. And as the player is what decides if you retire early or retire at all. And you might notice without the aim assist, you have more aim. You have better accuracy. It's just you're trusting in your instincts and not the game. Because as you can see with assist mode, my shots are less accurate than with myself as the one to aim. And as long as you're standing still, you can actually be more accurately hit. So, the ideal plan is to figure out when to stop moving and when to start. As you can see, that was a moment where you wanted to use one of those barrels. Now, this is an area full of traps. So what you want to do is get speed form. And then start running. These traps will take a good chunk of HP if they hit you. Now, you want to take a dive behind cover and figure out your game plan. Then you go for it. Engineers. Engineers set traps for you. Which means if you run into these traps, you're most likely going to take a good chunk of damage. It's just like these explosive barrels. If they hit you, they will hurt. Now you might also notice that this little guy right here can actually hit you through cover. It's because he has an explosion weapon. Alrighty, but also missed a good chunk of time to actually get some story in. So, you get a bonk after a missing chance. But of course, if you took much needed chill time, that also means you've been in a few bad scenarios. And I can sort of respect that, but sometimes you just gotta talk with people about this stuff. As it's a lot lighter on the body when you just talk about stuff, you know? Now to handle for a few annoyances. These low-level enemies, these are enemies you should take out quickly. Because the longer they're on the field, well, the less of a chance you're actually going to get to face this dude. Now what you want to do is always hit the eye. Because that'll stun the enemy. And you do not want this guy going for a second phase, because the enemies only get tougher. And this guy also deals a lot of damage, but once you kill him, and you'll be good to go. Oh, that that is the area. But considering that only took like 30 minutes... Huh. What am I gonna do for the next 40 minutes? I've already cleared an area. What am I gonna do? This is kind of a tough decision. Cleared the area very quickly, and I don't really know what to do. What is a late night stream? Oh, that's interesting. Welcome to the Old South. Or wait, was the Old South the previous area? Ah, we're in the Old South. This is the area where the game starts to get a bit difficult on you. So, you should head home to rest. Ah, transformation chips. These are going to be useful later. Yosha! Level 23. That's a pretty good level. That means I'm getting further into the game. And I got 4 people watching. And welcome, I am ACMS. Miss Gaming, and this is Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. Now, some of you all might not be interested in the game, and I can understand that, but I play what I want to play. Hey, it's not something I leave up to the decision of other people. Heading to watch TV. 5 p.m. tomorrow. Well, that's understandable, except... And I do have one thing to say. Hey, 2 people are now watching, which means you probably already left. Fair enough. Even though it feels a bit unfair, because I didn't really get to say what I wanted to say. Hey, but, in case if you're gonna watch the stream, what I wanted to say... I was noticing the time. It's pretty late, and it would be better to not risk getting caught up, as if you're caught up, that could usually mean a good grounding or 2. And that would be pretty bad. Melee defense. I don't need that, but my herpes can use it. Oh, Jung Frau. That must be a weapon. The quiet one. Sheesh. Sometimes, you just gotta know when to. Who just pack up and go to bed. Not me, of course. I am someone who doesn't do that. Why does that second part through the glass is kind of weird. guess that's a mystery we'll never find out with glasses. And now, I should probably be changing my gear color. It's kind of dark at the moment. Now, why did I choose such dark coloring for my outfit? Now I really have turned into my own character. But it is getting pretty late, so I'll have to cut the stream short. The reason I'm doing that is because I also want time to myself. Well, then to just play the game on my own. And so I apologize for the short stream. I don't mean to disappoint y'all. Oh, but sometimes you just gotta accept that it's getting pretty late outside. So, I'll be logging out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.